Because the pilot was a potato.
What?
Alright, welcome back to King Podcast. Welcome back to King Podcast. We got Joel, as usual.
Kia ora.
Josh Pefarangi.
Cha.
Joshua Mariata Pefarangi.
Cha.
And then we got Grace today.
Hello.
And yep, that's us. And today we're just going to be doing some question and answers. So we're just going to talk about just some real generic questions. I'll be asking these three people and adding a little bit of my own thoughts. And then they're going to be adding their thoughts. But before we start, I've got a few little interesting facts
Oh,
for
wow.
you guys. Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Alright.
If you replace the W with what, when, and where to a T, then you answer all the questions.
That then and there. You're right.
Your age is the amount of times you've been around the sun.
Mm-hmm.
And banging your head against a wall for an hour burns 150 calories. So,
What?
Fitness.
What does that have to do with anything?
Fitness, baby.
Yeah, but it's just a fact. If someone else out there wants to find it, that's a cheat to losing weight. When hippos
Yeah.
when hippos are upset, their sweat turns red.
This is
Yep.
bleeding.
If you've ever found the perfect hiding spot, then it isn't a perfect hiding spot.
Then you've never found the perfect home.
Yep.
No one's ever found the perfect home.
And the common letter A is not found in the spelling of any number from 0 to 999.
Well, that's just because dead letters.
And this one was for
Numbers.
you, Joel. I would autocorrect Mordor.
Spelling of
Yeah.
You can spell it.
This last one's for you, Joel. The dark region of the north pole of Pluto's moon, Charon, is called Mordor.
Nice.
It actually
It's even spelled
autocorrected
differently.
Mordor
Mm.
to order when I wrote it in. I
Well,
had to correct it just
The
then.
thing is that Mordor, from Lord of the Rings, is spelled Mordor.
Oh,
M-O-D-E-R.
right.
But
Oh, look, it's... Wait, no, it doesn't.
no, there we go.
Oh, it's capital.
It's a name. Yeah.
Yep.
It's got to have a capital.
Anyway,
Also, that's why Pluto's is also.
there'll be some more of those for people because I've been enjoying reading interesting facts online.
Today I learned TIL.
Yep. And-
www.reddit.com/TIL.
I made a Reddit account last
Sponsor.
night.
Nice.
Yeah.
Last night.
Actually, I was going to ask.
I
what
had
your
another one
username is,
before, but I
you
made
don't.
one.
Never tell anyone your Reddit username.
Okay.
It's like a death wish.
My one isn't the classic Chapatron or anything either.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, first question. Should murderers and other brutal criminals be executed?
Whoa!
Okay.
This is
Shit.
They get lighthearted, but I thought we'll get into the nitty and gritty
Oh, come on.
straight away.
Oh my goodness.
Alright,
Okay.
what do you reckon? So if you murder someone, do you think... No, not you guys. If someone murders someone, do you think that they should be executed for it? That should be their punishment.
Loop of murder.
so. You're just like asking if the death penalty should be a thing.
Exactly.
Much simpler.
Yeah. Do you think that?
What do you reckon, Joel?
Okay. Is that your answer?
Yeah. God. Didn't give me any time to think about this one or how to word it, did you?
Really?
Just straight into the big
Yeah.
ones.
Tell us.
Here, I'll read out what I've written here with it.
Okay.
While you guys
that's
think about it.
Yeah, that's better. Yeah.
Think about it.
The death penalty is another debate that will never be resolved.
Wow.
They say it's only fair that someone who unjustifiably takes another's life should pay the ultimate price. But the opposing argument is that the death penalty brings everyone down to a level of murderers. There is also the issue that the death penalty is irreversible, whereas new evidence sometimes leads to prisoners being freed. If someone has been executed, it's too late to do anything about it. Nor can two sides agree if the death penalty is an effective deterrent to committing violent crimes.
Yeah. I mean that. I would agree with all of that. That's a good place to start. I also think like. Yeah. If you're topping someone for topping someone,
Pardon me.
then like there's no chance for them to become a better person. You know, you're like, all right, you made a mistake, and I understand that. Like, it's not like we should just let these guys back out into society and see how it goes. But I think jail's there for a reason. I'll prize on, and yeah, I mean, use it.
Anyway, Josh, say yes or no and why. What do you think about
Yes or no, and why? Got it.
it? So your decision.
If you replace the W of what?
So then, my answer would be that. Shooter. Into the hard questions already. I don't know, my dad was a prison officer, so he kind of worked with all those people.
Yeah.
With all the bad and bougie, no, all the bad people. Just all the bad, like, you see, he was like talking to all these people like child rapists and murderers and stuff, and he's like, they don't deserve to live, but he's like, that'd be such an easy way out for them.
So he kind of wants him to suffer.
Oh wow.
Not suffer, but he's just
Alright.
like, he's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like, I'd rather keep them in jail where they're gonna harm no one, but I don't want to be the one to kill. I don't want to be a killer to a killer, sort of
Yeah.
thing.
I heard this quote from Straight Outta Compton
Love that movie.
when he says when Easy's about to go shoot some people, and then I forgot the guy's name, the white producer dude. He was like,
Jerry.
Jerry, yeah, what did he say? If you go kill someone, then you're just ending someone's problems and just making a whole heap for yourself now. So I guess that's is an easy way out for someone. You're
but-
just ending all their
yeah.
problems now.
I would definitely say no to a death penalty.
Alright, Grace.
Yeah, no.
No. Yeah, I saw you shaking your head as soon as I.
Ask the question.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Why?
Yeah, no. Classic New Zealander.
Do you
Yeah,
want?
Yeah.
Nah.
Do you want a murderer to be released and walking around?
No, not necessarily. Like, I agree with Joel. Well, cool stutters, but jail's there for a reason.
But some
Shouldn't
murderers
just
they
let
don't.
them have like, oh, here's a slap on the wrist. You can go back out into society.
Yeah.
They don't go to prison forever though. Like, I
Well,
don't know.
isn't that what a life sentence is?
Yeah, but what if I don't know. I know some murderers that have gone for like 25 years prison and stuff because like self-defense or whatever case it was, and so they are eventually going to be released for those circumstances. Do you really want someone who's murdered someone to be your next door neighbor or something?
Well,
Are you questioning just like the general?
yeah. Now you're
The
just
system?
questioning the law system.
Yeah.
Really sticking it to the
Yeah.
man.
So you think anyone that's murdered should just have a life sentence?
No.
Depends, because like what you're saying, someone could be accidentally a murderer. What is that called? I forget.
Manslaughter.
Yeah, that's the one.
manslaughter.
Just gonna-
Okay.
Flash.
All right then. So we all say no to that.
Mhm.
All right. Question 2. I've actually got 6 next to it for some reason.
6.
Is
Question
animal
6.
experimentation justified?
These are some real interesting questions.
Yeah.
Really?
Well,
Head nuts, was it?
shall I read out what I've written again?
Shy.
yeah.
All right. So, and we'll start off with Grace this time, so you think about why I read it out. This is an emotional topic that puts animal rights against the possibility of scientific and medical breakthroughs. If animals must be killed and possibly even tortured for the sake of developing a cure for example, cancer, would this be justified? Animal rights activists often claim that such breakthroughs are unlikely, as tests on animals don't necessarily translate to humans. This is an issue that has extreme advocates on both sides, and also some who would advocate in the middle ground. It also depends to a large extent on how highly you value the life of an animal. Yeah, what do you reckon, guys?
I don't think it's justified. I really don't. Because I don't know. I just like animals too much, so personally I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, okay, that's true. So you'd be one of the animal rights activists.
Yeah, but in saying that, I'm also like, I don't mind if it's on a rat, because I don't like rats.
Yeah.
Okay. So it depends
just comes
on
down
the
to-
animal.
Yeah.
It's just personal preference.
See, if you
Yeah.
could have a choice, so you think what they're doing is actually right in a way. They're finding cures and stuff.
I don't know. I'm
But
really torn on it.
your only concern is how they treat the animals.
Yeah.
But you think what they're doing is right.
Mm,
How would we ever get an advancement in like medical care if we never tested on living things? We'd have. I think we have to do it.
Are these questions related?
Yeah, kind of. But I mean, like
Like the last one and this one?
no,
Are you saying?
Well, I guess like
Are you saying that we
I
should
said
start using?
humans?
Murderers.
The murder. Oh,
We could, we could
No,
just-
no, 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 no.
they could because they still have a chance
Is
to
there
live.
animals?
they have a chance to live. They're just gonna be drugged up as hell.
They probably like that.
They probably like
Yeah,
that.
the people who did manslaughter, they
Yeah.
love that.
Murderers suddenly masochists.
All right, Josh. What do you reckon?
I'm the same with Grace. I like edibles too much, but I don't know. People are paid to find the sort of like what works as like as to what drugs work and not. People get paid for that stuff as their job. So
Yeah, but
I'm not totally against it. I'm not totally.
how do they find it out? How do they?
I think
They have to test it.
Yeah, they have to
Use
test
it
it on
on like
animals.
other people's blood and stuff.
All right. So
Not
you think
necessarily
that they
on the
should
subject as a whole.
they should put more money in instead of using animals at all? Just get rid of that and just work on finding other ways to do it. Like
I mean, same with Grace. I like they can test it on rats because I'm not so much a rat person, or like they can test it on I don't know, a possum or something. Possums are like on pests or something. But most of the times when they test for drugs, they use it on something that is similar to, I guess, a human.
Yes,
Mm.
it's true.
So yeah, in that case, go nuts.
all right, Joel.
I'm just for the sake of the argument, I'll be the other side.
All right, that's good. That's good.
So, I mean, in the end, it just comes down to whether humankind, as a species, are all right with using animals to advance their own species. And that's kind of, I mean, it's kind of what we do with like food. I mean, we're killing animals so that we can, like eat. And I understand that's like, all right, they're like humanely killed and like you don't torture them and everything. But I mean, we're still using animals to a degree and like, using like, back in the day using like horses and stuff to pull carts and all that kind of stuff. It's like just kind of like what humankind have done because I mean it's a difficult subject because it's like how else would we do it if we didn't, and like the whole blood thing, that's absolutely a point about testing it on blood without using it on actual subjects. But then again, that kind of like defeats the purpose of like using it on actual subjects. Like otherwise we just use a whole lot of human blood and be like, all right, does it?
They probably do use blood.
They
you
do,
know.
absolutely.
You know, in scientific things, you always test more than just one thing, so you have different kind of outcomes to
Yeah.
like compare data and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's like pictures that I've seen of like ears growing out of rats and stuff. That's pretty gnarly.
Crazy.
I thought rats
Yeah.
already had ears.
No, like full like human ears growing out of their back.
Is that legit?
Yeah. I'll try and
What?
find a photo of it so that I can like
What the
give
heck?
a link to it
Oh,
or whatever.
okay.
What's that? They call that. There's a thing when people try to do that, when they try to mix animal stuff with people.
Mutation.
No, it's called.
Yeah.
It's called something.
X-Men.
The general thing.
Anyway, that's a whole different thing. Anyway, while you find that picture, I reckon it's justified just because I value a human's life above an animal's life, even though it'd be really. Ooh, that looks so gross.
Oh, it
I'll
is
see it.
pretty gross actually.
Alright.
Ooh, okay. Okay.
Like that one there.
But it's like would you know that classic as analogy where there's a train and there's two ways it can go and you have to pick the way to make the train go, and on one way there's a whole lot of humans lying down on the track and the other way is a whole lot of animals. Which way would you make the train? Which way would you make the train go? To kill the humans or the animals?
Oh yeah, the
Yeah,
Dude.
maybe. Is that different?
Are the humans tied down on the train?
Yeah, they can't get out.
Okay.
They can't just get up and move out of the way.
get up, you're going to die. There you go, all our problems solved. It's a few simple
Yeah,
words.
the animals then.
Alright, so that's no from Grace, no from Joel, and
Get
for,
out the way. Get out the way.
for the podcast, Joel just said yes. Right, what do you actually
look at
think?
this. Look at this. This is doctors growing a person in air by using their flesh on their arm. So they grew the air on the arm and then cut that off and then stuck it
Oh,
to the
my
air.
God.
A little
And then
uneasy.
use
Do you reckon the ear actually works?
I don't know.
Or is it just to look like an ear?
That'd be sick if it did work.
That'd be crazy.
And this guy.
Like, what if you could, deaf
Get
people, you
the-
could cut their ear off and then give them a new one or something?
What the heck? Man grows an ear out of his arm and plans to connect it to the internet.
What? That's
Oh
cool.
my goodness.
Alright, next question. This is gonna be real broad, but I'll read out my thing and hopefully maybe it change your perspective a little bit. Probably won't though. Should drugs be legal? Now, I'll just read. Wait, just wait. Right? I knew. Wait, just wait.
They
Hear
are
this.
legal.
No, like heroin and cocaine and stuff.
Okay.
Alright, not like this isn't like legalizing marijuana. So I'm talking about hard drugs like cocaine and heroin. And people argue that taking drugs should be a personal choice, even if it causes one harm. The opposing view is that society has the right to enforce certain social norms, even if this infringes on individual rights. Another aspect of the issue is that criminalizing drugs may contribute to violent crime by making them illegal. So by making them illegal, it means that people do more, illegal stuff to try and get them. So they do crazy things. So that's the other side. So if you make them legal, people will get them in a more a better way. So they don't have to murder people for it or dodgy trades and stuff.
Yeah, but can't that be applied to anything?
Yeah.
Like you're like, let's make guns illegal so that then people won't go out of their way to find guns.
Yeah.
You're like,
All right.
all right, well, flipping, what else is something illegal? Well, you're basically questioning the law system. It's like if we make murdering legal, then less people will murder because then they won't feel like they're doing something that is against the law.
All right. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
You're not rebelling.
Yeah. Nah. Yeah. I mean, I reckon drugs should be illegal. I'm just saying this out for the discussion. But can you kind of see what I mean? If they were legal and it was a person's choice to do them, do you think it would matter to society that much?
I see the point. I just think it's like a year 9 debate against topic.
Alright.
It's like
Yeah.
there's no real solid point behind that.
Yeah. So you think it should just be illegal still? Yeah.
I mean that.
Josh,
That's
anything
the
on that?
point of the law.
But what if it just someone next door just does drugs and they just do it in their house and it doesn't affect you in any way?
But it's still illegal.
You're still thinking no, but if it was legal, are you thinking
It's
more?
it's the same as it doesn't matter if it's legal or illegal. It'll just be the same as someone doing crack in their house.
Yeah.
So you guys thinking more about the person that actually does it? You just don't like what the effects are of the drugs more than some people. What I read from that saying, some people just didn't care who did it. It was just whatever to them, as long as they don't involve them and they just do it in their corner. They wouldn't care if it was legal or illegal. But you guys are saying, because you guys, none of us do drugs, so
It's true.
yep. I'm
Well,
saying,
I mean, I can speak for myself.
I'm saying that you guys are thinking more about your, you're not thinking about yourself. You're thinking about the person who actually does them.
Do we
and
count caffeine as a drug hit?
Alcohol?
caffeine is
Alcohol?
I think caffeine is a drug.
It is a drug. That
Yeah,
wasn't part of the
100%.
question. It was like,
Okay,
I'm
so
telling you.
do you think caffeine should be illegal?
no, that's not what I was getting at.
That's impossible.
All right, what are you getting at then?
No, I was just. I wasn't getting at anything.
All right.
It's
Grace, what do you reckon?
What's the question again?
Should drugs be legal?
No.
All right. No, that's pretty. Yeah, we'll skip that
It's
one.
like should stealing stuff be legal? Because then maybe people wouldn't want to steal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because then
that's the
there's
same
less
point as
rebellion.
the Oh yeah.
Reverse psychology.
Yeah.
And then,
Maybe what if it worked?
Well, it's reverse psychology, and so more people are going to be like, because all the people that didn't want to do it before because it was illegal are now going to want to do it because it's legal.
That's true. It's kind of, and then it'll turn into a Darwinian world.
Darwinian world.
How do you say?
Right.
What is it?
No,
You know when
Darwinian.
the fittest.
Yeah, survival of the fittest.
Survival of the fittest. That's what the world will come for. All those things became legal. And you're right. If drugs became legal, then people will start questioning why is thieving illegal? Why is murder?
Thieving.
Why is murder illegal?
Thieving guild.
It's like when it stopped. Anyway, I got this actually. That made me think of something that I watched the other day. So you know how there's transgender. Then I saw this thing. There was transracial. So
Okay.
and then it went even a step further and said there was transabled. So this is
I
when
didn't see that.
this is when people, there was this person in England or something, the lady was talking about on the news that she thought she should have been born blind, so she poured liquid on her eyes and made herself blind. There's a person that thought he should have been born an amputee, so he cut his arm off.
Yeah.
And then she's like, where does it stop? Anyway, that was just a side thing. I just thought that was just absolutely ridiculous.
What the?
Yeah, that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway, we won't get onto that boat because that's just...
People just trying to find themselves.
But I mean, why?
That
Like,
took you. Wait, did they do that? Did they do that when they were adults?
yeah, these are like adult people. Do you think people who actually do have these disabilities would be offended by that? Just thinking.
Yeah, well, I read a similar article about the same people.
Yeah.
And there were like people who were disabled that were like absolutely shredding them for it because they were like, you guys are idiots. You don't understand how blessed. I'm gonna use blessed.
Yeah.
Because I'm a Christian, you know. You don't realize like how blessed you guys are that you were born without a disability, and they were just like absolutely gobsmacked and just like offended about everything because these guys are like, oh, I feel like I should be someone that I'm not, but in a worse state of who I am.
Yeah, that's...
It's just like some random lady was just like, you know, I'm gonna do blind people a service. I think I'm meant to be more blind here. I'll join you, and just started pouring some random crap into her eye, making her blind. She's like, I'm blind now.
Yeah, 1 till 4.
Everyone, I'm blind now.
Yeah.
Guys, I made a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just... Yeah. Anyway. So
I
that's...
got a Loki treat.
Yeah, that's a bit of a trigger one, definitely. Okay, is torture ever justified?
It's a bit of a trigger one. Anyway.
There's a lot of ways this can go.
No, but do you guys immediately just think no? Yes. You guys immediately think no, yes. Okay. Joel.
There's like a topic here that's kind of a little sideline that I'm probably not gonna bring up.
Yeah, true.
Um,
it's like, well, people do that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, but that's not
There
my thing.
was
Well, it's
justified
fancy kind
torture.
of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Oh,
That's
right.
what-
Like
that's what
like
you're into.
fetishes and stuff.
BDSM.
I
But
think that's great kind.
we'll just glance past that topic.
Yeah,
That's what I was
I didn't even think of that.
As soon as Josh started laughing, I knew exactly what he's laughing about. Well,
No, I'm thinking more like in war. Like if someone a spy comes from Korea to America or something and he has important information and you want to get the information out of him that could save your country potentially, and he's not saying anything, should you torture him to get the information out?
That's like nothing new, isn't it? People still do that.
Yeah, people do that, but do you think it's justified? Do you think they should be able to do that?
It's justified to them.
So it depends on the person?
so is slavery.
Yep.
Just go from like one. Alright, let's try slavery. It's not new. Nothing's new here. And it's justified to the people.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But it's not right.
Okay, slavery.
So you think it's not right?
Yeah.
Like it's just not right. Even depending on any circumstance, you think it's not right.
Well, this is because war brings out a lot of crap, and I mean killing people in general
That's
is probably not a great idea. It's not really, don't really say like go for it. But it's a tricky and also trippy subject. Yeah, well, just don't get into war in the first place.
Yeah, I reckon that's a very good point.
Deal.
Just not have wars.
Exactly. Let's
All right,
just
done.
Maybe if
All
we-
right,
If we have
You hear
this
that,
war-
Wills?
everyone, stop.
Every
43 viewers, stop.
Stop
the war.
fighting.
Those people that were about to start a war, they're like, oh no, I can't do it anymore.
Well-
Those guys have just said, I can't.
Our job's done. 43 people aren't going to be at war.
Done.
Alright, I'll read what I read, but it doesn't really matter anymore.
Right.
Most people just ignore it.
We just absolutely shoot him.
This last question is gonna be great. Hey, you gotta go for Joel. Anyway,
No.
most people would argue against torture in theory. However, suppose torturing one person could prevent a terrorist attack that killed millions. Or on the other hand, if one says torture would be justified only in such extreme circumstances, who gets to decide when the situation warrants it? There's also the question of what exactly constitutes torture. This is an example of a wider philosophical question. Does the end justify the means? It's a difficult issue that will probably never be answered conclusively.
Beautiful
Wow.
reading there.
Wow.
Did you do?
I've actually started reading a
Did
book
you
called
call
Lord of the Rings.
You looked at the title.
You know what I got that off?
Yeah.
The Fight of the Conchords, when he's in America and he pulls back the guitar. We're here in America.
So glad to be here.
Yeah. Anyway, okay.
Lord of the Rings.
So we think no one should ever be tortured ever, under no circumstance. That's what you guys are saying.
I'm really pulling my moral compass here.
You're really pulling my heartstrings.
Is that what you reckon, Grace? No torture under any circumstance.
No torture.
What's another way to get information out of someone then?
Ask them.
Bribery.
Yeah.
Ask
Ask
them
them.
nicely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take them
Chocolate?
out for coffee.
I'd give people information for like a certain sum of money.
Okay. Bribery.
Yeah, well, that's
Bribery.
Do you think
Bribery.
bribery's alright?
Bribery.
Doesn't hurt the person.
Bribery.
Name is Barbara. Alright. Torture not good then?
I just got a spam message on Facebook. That was fun.
From
Yeah,
same.
yeah,
I
yeah.
won't say the name. I was about
Yeah,
to.
yeah,
but
same.
won't.
I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, same person. It's you, Joel. No, it's not. Let's go away.
It's you, Joshua. Who calls me Joshua now?
Wow, did we all get one?
Yeah.
Grace did. Unless you did. Are you friends with this
Yep.
person on
Yeah,
Facebook?
I did.
Oh, we all got one. All at the same time.
Do guns make society safer or more violent?
Oh, here we go.
Let me read the thing. To advocates of strict gun control, many people believe that restricting access to guns would make society safer. The opposing argument is that gun control only takes guns out of the hands of law-abiding citizens and does nothing to prevent criminals from obtaining them illegal. The two sides managed to find all kinds of studies and statistics to support their respective arguments. But still, the debate rages on. Violent incidents today are often used as excuses for people to add fuel to the flames of this ongoing debate. I watched a video today on
You did?
Facebook,
Did you?
and it was by Anonymous.
Oh.
Like, no, not
gosh.
I'm not keeping their name quiet. It was actually by the
Yeah, the group in
Anonymous,
Yeah.
yeah. And it was this is like how to stop a mass murdering in 30 seconds. And anyway, these two guys walked in. They were holding guns, and then this old man pulled out a gun out of his pocket and chased them out, shooting like the walls next to them and stuff.
So
starting
what
fire
was the
with
point of
fire.
this?
So essentially, I'm saying that do guns make society safer? I'm merely pulling up a point from that example that it did make it safer because he scared these two people off that could have killed the whole room that the people in there.
Did he grab the guns?
No, he scared them off, but he saved them
And
in
the
that
neighborhood
time.
terrorized.
You mean like in the intro scene of The Dark Knight, where the guy in the bank comes out with a shotgun and
Oh,
tries to shoot them,
yeah,
but
yeah,
then he just
yeah.
gets shot anyway, and
Yeah.
it destroyed the whole thing.
That I love that part when
It is a very
the Joker says,
That's
"I
great.
killed the bus driver."
Yeah.
The bus driver.
What?
That's so good. Anyway, what do you reckon, Josh? Do guns make society safer or more violent?
More violent.
More violent?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, we're pretty safe. We're
So-
in New Zealand.
We don't know because we don't have.
Yeah, in New Zealand,
we
we're
don't
pretty
have the
safe.
free
In
gun
America
policy.
right now.
Yeah.
Culture.
So, do we think drugs should be legal? Because this is exactly the same question.
Do you
It's
reckon?
murder.
Do you reckon it's the same?
It's exactly the same.
Why?
Yeah, okay.
Why are guns and drugs the same thing?
Because it's still the point of things being illegal or legal.
If anything, I reckon. My personal thing, I reckon I'd rather drugs be legal than guns.
Okay, yeah, but that's not the question.
Yeah,
Or
but
do we want that
no,
to be?
Rather.
no, I'm saying,
Yeah.
I'm saying that guns and drugs to me on different level. They aren't the same question. Guns are worse.
Yeah.
So for me,
So it should be even more clear.
Yeah, for me it's more violent
Yeah.
What is the same for you?
Yeah, well, all I'm saying is, like, if you make guns legal,
You might as well make everything else legal.
yeah, well,
Okay.
not, that's not really what I was getting at.
We
But,
don't, we
like,
don't want that at all.
as in, like, if you make guns legal, it's the same consequence as with the drugs thing, where people, I know America's like, yeah, we got to defend ourselves, but if there aren't guns in the beginning, then you have nothing to defend yourself against.
But people will always have guns, like criminal organizations and stuff. So there's always a threat with someone with weapons, even if it was like through illegal ways.
Yeah, but you're not gonna have time to, like, if someone comes at you on the street with a gun, you're not gonna have time to be like, all right, I need to go home, grab my gun real quick to defend myself.
Yeah, but people
You're
carry them around
always-
in their purses and their cars and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
that's just trying to fight fire with fire again.
Alright.
It's like,
Would you rather be shot than to shoot someone else?
Depends, catches where
Where-
I'm shot.
what?
Would you, if someone was holding a gun at you, and you had a chance to shoot them, would you shoot them, or would you let them shoot you? That's what I'm saying.
This is a much deeper question.
Yeah, that's a different circumstance.
I reckon that's the circumstance they're in. That's why they carry guns. They're deciding if someone's gonna shoot me, I'm gonna decide to kill them before they shoot me. That's why. Why else would they be carrying guns around?
You're really picking the greater of two evils, or is it the lesser of two evils?
And what's the lesser one?
Knives.
Asking,
Just no,
asking
Like a
politely.
knife to a gunfight.
That's New Zealand. No. I always
Bring
thought
the
this when
shank.
I was working night shifts at the petrol station. I always thought if someone, this is different actually, it's nothing to do with this. But I thought if someone robbed me with a knife, I wouldn't give them what they wanted because what are they? They're gonna have to reach over the bench real awkwardly and try stab me.
Shank ya.
But if it was a gun, I'd give it to them straight away. Anyway, that was a side thought.
What if they throw a knife at you?
I'll just dodge it.
No, it's instant kill.
Yep.
Side step, shutting gun.
Just
Matrix, all of a sudden.
Just bunts out of the way.
Oh, straight.
Yeah, I'll just catch it.
Got it.
Classic.
Anyway, so we all think it makes it more violent.
I am keeping a level head right
Okay.
now
Yep.
on this argument, and I'm not gonna
Add any more to it.
Yeah.
Okay. The questions coming up are pretty like on the same kind of scale too.
Okay.
So hopefully you can keep a level head throughout the whole thing.
Let it loose. Let it loose.
I think. All right. I'll just quickly say something.
Already all of these that I'm looking at.
Stop looking at my notes, all right, man. Come on. I think we can't really talk because we've never had a circumstance with it. in New
Exactly,
Zealand,
though.
So
Exactly
But I just-
my point.
I was. Flying.
We've
What's up?
never had a circumstance. So doesn't that say something?
That yeah, I reckon. I'm for
Yeah,
no
yeah, yeah.
guns.
But like, I'm saying that's not like a very good like reason to like talk about the subject.
Actually, to be honest, it just makes. I don't know. Maybe America's just a bit silly. Sorry to everyone over there.
I'm not.
All these like mass shootings and stuff, like just none of that happens. Well, it does happen in other countries. Actually, I'm not gonna say anything. I changed my
I
mind.
was about to say, like, I don't know, whether you make the guns illegal or legal or not,
It
because
still could
people are
happen,
still
eh?
going to shoot people.
Exactly, you're right.
It's not the guns that kill people.
It's
It's
the
people that
pe-
kills people.
Yeah,
People
that's true.
go.
Alright, that's
Taking me
done.
back to high school. at
Yeah,
that point.
yeah.
I'm done with this one too.
I'm so done.
Should abortion be legal? Everyone's just... I don't reckon it should be because you're killing. That's murder. That's straight up murder, and murder is illegal. So abortion should be illegal. What if that person being
Next
born,
question.
that person could have been like the best prime minister ever or something, and like made a massive change, and you've just like ruined their, I don't know, their potential. What do you reckon, Joel? I can see you tilting her at the corner.
I'm not. Anyone else?
Is there any circumstance that makes it alright? Like real, like okay, we'll get serious now. What if like a lady got raped and got pregnant from it and it wasn't the right time? Do you think that'd be alright to abort? Or do you think she should still conceive the child?
I think that people are given free will for a reason. So, you know, it's your choice if you want to kill someone or not. It's your choice if you want to smoke or not. You know, it's
Yeah.
kind of like in that spectrum for me.
It's your choice if you want to have guns or
Yeah.
have drugs.
So so you're saying we make it legal and it's just up to the person.
I'm not saying I want it legal, but I'm just saying it is up to the person
Okay.
because what we say is like,
People are gonna find a way anyway.
yeah, and it'll get more and more dangerous. If there is a safer way to do it, I'm not for it, but I'd rather that than them taking their own life as well. I don't know. I'm real weird
Yeah,
about
yeah,
it.
I know what you mean.
I really feel for the people that are in the situation.
Yeah.
Because I understand that obviously it's not like just a flippant decision where they're just like, this is gonna suck, and then they're just like, oh nah, I'm not feeling it. But like obviously they're going through like so much stress and all of that. Just give me the baby. I'll look after the baby. No problem.
Yeah.
You just have the baby. I'll
Yeah,
just
everyone-
I'll just set up like an orphanage
Yeah.
for children who were going to be aborted.
That could be an idea. It probably already is
It
somewhere.
is,
Done.
it
It probably is somewhere.
Like
I'll take them.
just people that consider abortion, they can just have the baby, but give the baby to an orphanage or something.
Even that though is pretty hard to do.
I reckon that's still you're still giving like the baby a fighting chance. You know, like start living. They can still make the most of what they've got. I mean, even if they live in an orphanage, it's much better than still what third world countries will have and stuff like
But I
that.
still think we're kind of fighting around the whole question. We're kind of fighting all these solutions to why it's okay to abort. I mean, why it's not okay to abort and what the other things are. But I don't know if it should be legal or illegal.
What do you think about? I read an article a few days ago about someone who wanted to abort just because they didn't want to go through the pain of having a child. Do you think that's not right?
I think that's
Well,
good.
That's dumbass.
Don't have sex. Full stop.
Yeah.
Alright.
I mean, there are instances where people I understand where it's like people have been raped and they've gotten pregnant from that, and that's like a super rough situation, real complicated.
Yeah.
But then a lot of the situations are also just people who were dumb and like decided to go and have sex without contraception, whatever. And then they're just like, oh no, I made a mistake. How can I change this? Well, it's like, don't make the mistake in the beginning, and maybe you wouldn't be in the situation. I mean, obviously that's not the case for every abortion case. But
Yeah.
a lot of that, if people just were more intelligent about what they're actually doing with their lives, then maybe. But anyway, I'm
Next.
gonna start getting frustrated.
Alright. I just got rid of the next two questions
So you do that?
and this one too.
Oh, now I'm really interested as to what it
Yeah,
was.
you can't see them.
Damn it.
It was do you think I'll just say the topics but we won't talk. The first one was, do you think people who are gay, it's determined from their like when they're born or it comes to them, and the other one was about euthanasia, if you think that's alright. And then the other one was that I just got rid of, do you think obesity is a disease?
Oh my god.
Anyway, next. Should people with life sentences in jail be allowed to vote? Do you think it's worth do you think their vote's even valid or worth it?
Life sentence.
Yeah, so they're in jail for the rest of their life. That's a lot. Well, I'm so silly. You call it life sentence. Do you think they should be able to vote? Like, I mean, what's the point if they're just going to be in the jail for the rest of their life? They don't really have a say on what's going to happen, but then they are a person of the country, so they should have a say in how the country goes. This is obviously for like a democratic country.
This is also a very specific demographic of people.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
The
what have you done to be in a life sentence? And like, you're in jail. That's a pretty large consequence for what you've done. if you still expect to be able to have a say in what happens to the country, I feel like you probably should have made some better life decisions.
All right. What if I changed the question and said, what do you think all prisoners should be able to vote? Anyone that has like a criminal record or something.
Yeah.
All right.
Because there are some people that are in there.
I think if they're going to live in that, like...
So they're going to come back to it?
Yeah.
That makes
Live
sense.
in that place that they voted for.
Alright, so it doesn't change yet. So
Yeah.
coming back to life sentences, you think maybe it's just... Okay, maybe looking at it from a different point now. What if their percentage, just say for example, they had 3% of the vote, and that 3% made even though it's pretty big, and they made up a certain party winning the election. Does this just go beyond the actual prisoners itself? Is this a different question now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's just politics, though. That's just
'Cause you want
democracy and how it works.
Yeah, you want everyone to be able to vote so you can get more votes.
I mean, just excluding the people who are like wrongly accused and all that. Like, I think voting is a privilege to the people who are allowed to vote, and if you get a life sentence, then that's just a privilege taken away from you.
Yeah, it's
Just like you won't be able to see your family and all that other stuff. You messed up in society. You messed up how the society flows and all that. So you get a life sentence, and then that's just one of the privileges that get taken away from you. You can't vote.
good point.
Like, what if you look at your country as like a person and say, this is just going a little further, and kind of like making a metaphor out of it. So you made a bad decision. What if people in your life before that had the ability to say like, hey, I want this to change in your life so that you can become a better person, and you didn't take that on board, now you're in jail. And that's kind of what's happening to you saying, all right, I want to change this about the country so that when like they go further, then they can be different in the future. But you've like ruined that chance in your own life.
Yeah.
So why should you be able to do that for a country, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
I get that.
but also, I mean, how many people with life sentences are particularly interested in voting and
That's true.
political
Well,
scene
that's why I'm going to
in the
ask this
country?
next question. What if there were policies about people with life sentences, and now they have like an interest in it? Like maybe they could apply for a parole or something like that after serving a certain amount of time in prison. Do you think that means that they should be able to vote because it's them?
But
It's their demographic, or no?
That's more of like a change in the law system, though.
All right.
It's not really like a political,
Yeah.
like, what point, I guess.
All right, cool. Now we just got a few probably more light-hearted questions.
Okay, good.
Oh.
Because
Go through the deep part.
I'm so done.
Joel is done. I'm gonna eat a chip, so you'll hear some crunching.
No.
Shit.
How much? It's
Well,
alright.
I'll read out the question while I eat it, so you got time. Do you think in schools, textbooks should ever be replaced by like mobile devices or like tablets or something, iPads and that?
Just to be look at Joel to like see what his answer is. How does what that?
I mean, I'm not shying away from the fact that I'm a bit of a nerd, but I thanks. And yeah, I think there's a lot of people who are against it that just don't understand what could be with it, and it just makes the use of things so much easier. I think a lot of the points against it are things like kids will use it for other stuff, which is also dumb because you can set like restrictions and all of that on the tablets so that they can't do anything but that, or but the things that they're allowed to do. It also teaches kids to understand technology and have a concept of how to use it and all of that kind of stuff, which is going to be extremely helpful later on in their lives because that's the way the society's going.
Yep.
And if you're stuck in an era where you're still using textbooks and the whole world is becoming like a technology-based place, then you're like putting yourself in a handicap, and if your parents are doing that to you, then that's like them saying, all right, I'm not going to give you like something that's going to help you in your future, and I'm not going to give you something that is going to help your education, which is kind of selfish of them. But then again, I don't want to judge those parents. Sure, you guys are great.
Alright, we hear that, Joel. Go, Josh.
No, he said it. He said it all.
Alright, Grace.
I don't need to say anything.
Yeah,
He
The
covered,
same?
he covered
Yeah.
everything.
I think like also though if the kid prefers book, then yeah, go for it. But like
Absolutely.
obviously the way that society is going is technology. It reminds me of that episode of The Office where he goes to Ryan's university, is it? And they're all got like laptops and stuff,
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
comes
Oh, yeah.
in and he's like, "Oh, write that down." They all have to type it down because no one's got paper and pen.
What? Alright, I reckon it'd be for practical uses. It'd just be easier as well. Imagine not having all these textbooks. And you just have a massive database that all students can access the same resources, and then you just have like a server where you can just do updates. So you don't have like old ass textbooks you have to use. You can use like the. But I was thinking, in terms
You
of
don't have to spend freaking hundreds of dollars on university textbooks.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Those are expensive. Just have to download an app and it's all there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just pay for like, all right, I'll pay for access to all of them or whatever.
Or maybe like even like
Like
a
a
monthly
subscription.
subscription. Yeah.
I mean, that's the way that honestly the majority of the world's going at the moment
Yeah.
is like subscription based stuff.
yeah.
And so if you set up a section where you pay for, like, say the university pays for the rights to a textbook for a certain amount of time,
Yeah.
then they have the ability to, like, say, all right, here that is for any students who want to pay, like,
It'd be minimum wage, like $5
like
a month or something.
yeah, whatever, something like
Yeah.
that, and then you're just paying for that, and then you have access to all of that, and it makes it so much easier for the teachers as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Like-
Yeah, that's a good idea. That they should definitely do that.
Come on, world.
But what for me, this is probably a bit different than textbooks, not for study use, but for normal. What about normal books, like reading books?
Yeah.
For me, I can't read a book on my phone. I've
Yeah,
tried
fair
it, and I get notifications from Facebook and stuff, and then I'll click on them, and then I'll just go on Facebook. But
Mm.
if I have a normal book in front of me, away from my mobile device, then I can actually focus on reading the book.
Mhm.
Do you think paper sources will still have a relevance in the future?
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
the same. Like, I love reading books still. And I think there will always be people who enjoy that. And it's like any kind of market. If people enjoy that thing, I mean, nobody needs records or record players these days. But people still buy them because they
So
like
true.
the sound or they like the nostalgia that it brings to them. And it's the
the
same with
aesthetic.
basically anything. If you want something, then there's demand for that, and so people are going to supply that.
Yes, supply and demand, nice.
You can tell that I'm a commerce student.
yeah. It's just sound like economics, like one.
That was currently what I'm doing.
Josh, what do you reckon?
What was the question?
Like, do you
Yes.
think paper
Oh,
will go out
yeah.
of fashion? Like writing diaries when people take
Uh,
notes on laptops, or
It will, but I mean, we're gonna be way past. We're gonna be gone by that time. But like, I think paper, like Joel said, paper still has its place. I mean, if it's your thing, it's your thing. You know.
What if it becomes like Book of Eli,
that's
Braille.
true.
where there's
Yeah.
like no books?
True.
Braille Bible.
That could potentially happen if in the future, like Josh is saying, paper goes away, and then all the system shuts down, so no power in the world. Then we'd have no like written documents and stuff. And it's actually pretty interesting. Actually, bringing that point up made me think. There's like written documents from years ago that we still use today. So maybe having like a form that you can't lose is a good idea. But anyway, that's different. That's
Yeah, I mean,
different.
also though, that's the majority of society.
Yeah.
Like, if power goes out around the world, you're going to be a little more worried about other things than just like whether you can access your textbook that week.
Yeah, true.
It's like, all right, now we can't flipping
Check out Facebook.
do anything as a society because it's all based around power.
Yeah. Wow, you guys, I know you like writing notes on paper.
I do. I really do. And again, it's just personal preference.
Yeah.
Do you think it's more an aesthetic? Nah, you just like doing it over
Yeah.
typing on a computer.
Yeah.
Just the feel of it.
I'm faster at writing than I am at typing.
Yep.
Convenient.
Yeah,
That's
I
what-
mean, it's literally just down to how people work.
Mm.
Like, I can type a million times faster than I can write, but I still prefer writing stuff. like if I'm writing notes or something like that about like a sermon or something, I don't know, I'd much rather write that in a book than
Yeah,
like
same.
type it up on a computer.
Yeah.
Because I went through like a whole long time where I just took heaps of notes on my computer
Yeah,
and I
same.
just like it was just basically a typing test for me.
Yeah. I
wasn't
stopped.
like- Notes.
I just recently started using a notebook at work as well now. I used to type all my notes on my laptop, but there's just a different feeling when I write stuff on paper. Feels like I can like just refer to my book while doing my work on my computer and stuff. Feels better. Cool. That's done. Should video games be considered a sport?
Yes.
They already are.
Yeah. So, but for people that don't already like see it as that, we do because we're in that we're gamers, so we know esports and stuff.
Shot goes.
But I try to explain to my dad about how gamers are making millions of dollars these days in competitions and stuff, and he's like, "That's stupid. Gaming's not a sport. How can you be making money playing games?"
Yeah, but that's what any sport is, really, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I said to him. I said, "Why should basketball players be making money? Like they're just playing basketball."
It's just
You're just playing a game.
Yeah,
it's just a clash of cultures.
that's all generations.
Generations, yeah.
Generation clash.
Transgeneration.
I mean,
Transgender.
there was another thing. Like, where does it stop? Coming back to that, I think I talk about. What if like a 5-year-old identifies themselves as a 21-year-old and they go buy alcohol and stuff, or a 21-year-old identified. There actually was one. A 21-year-old identified himself as a 6-year-old girl, and he tried to go to kindergarten and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not going to send my kid to that kindergarten.
Well.
Yeah, he tried to find a nanny. That's the one actually.
Yeah. Also, why was he going to kindergarten at 6 years old? That's the right question.
Yeah, sorry, that must have been wrong.
That's crazy. What the heck? Jeez. It's crazy.
All right, that game on the sleeve because we're all like into esports and that.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't particularly like playing like American football.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna say that the people who play American football aren't actually like sports players, just because I don't like it or I don't play it myself. Like, I'll go for it, sure. If
Yeah.
you guys are good at that and that's what you like doing, then if there's a place for you to play that, go for it. I mean, if people are saying like it's not a sport, well, that's great, but it is. It's like, sorry.
Face the facts.
Yeah.
So do you think in the future, because in New Zealand it's real small compared to other places like Korea, do you think maybe gaming could be like a big thing where you could go to university for it on a gaming scholarship or something like that, like they do in America? You know, they offer like League of Legends scholarships to some universities and that. Do you think, would you be, if someone said they were going to put that in a policy or something, do you think a lot of people would go for that? Do you think it'd be a good thing to do? Would it help society at all? Blah, blah, blah.
I mean, it's just like any sport. If you can get like a scholarship in any other kind of sport, golf or whatever, I don't know. I don't think often it is the playing of the sport that you get a scholarship in. It's about things that you can do, like managerial roles in that, or coverage. So like the tech behind it, like media coverage, all of that kind of stuff, or like journalism, so you can be like interviewing the people there or whatever. And that's the same with like esports. There's all the people who are getting into the tech side of it and like how to set up a well-run
like
production for
yeah.
it and all of that kind of
So
stuff.
you don't reckon people should be offered scholarships for actually playing the game?
Well, I mean, it's still something like. Okay, so take current sports for a
Yeah,
a situation like.
rugby.
Yeah, so like as a kid growing up in New Zealand, you can join a rugby team and you can play rugby when you're growing up. But you don't really go to uni and study rugby.
Yeah,
You
but
go
you
to-
get a scholarship to... Oh, okay, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can like get a scholarship for doing that, which means that like you're good at what you do and you will continue to like pursue that, but while you're studying.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, so there's like rugby players that they went to university on a rugby scholarship, but they actually became lawyers and stuff like that.
Yeah, like there's a guy in my class who got a rugby scholarship, but he's studying business at the moment, and it's like, sure, that's great. And then he has the chance to go either of those paths, or you could study something that has to do with it. So a lot of sports players study stuff like sports science, and like health stuff like that or whatever, just so that they kind of have a more complex understanding of what they're doing, and like how their bodies work and how they can make themselves better. And that could absolutely be something that someone does with an esport or something like that, like go and study programming so that you understand how games are made, and how, like, what is happening when you click the mouse or when you press the buttons or whatever.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
I agree.
I don't think you go and study rugby, and I don't think that you should be able to go and study esports, because it's still something that, like, you do in your spare time and you put the effort in so that you become good. You don't go and, like, pay people to make you good at rugby.
Yeah, the way you explained it nearly made esports sound better than traditional sports, because if you can go to university and nearly can study esports, like, you're actually studying skills that are practical for, like, the workforce, but it also is helpful for the production of esports. So you can learn coding, which you can do, like, I don't know, heaps of stuff, game developer or something.
Yeah.
But then it also will help you if you wanted to be in the esports scene, as if on the other side, if you wanted to study, if you want to go on a rugby scholarship, but you're being a lawyer, it doesn't really correlate with each other.
Yeah, I mean, you could though. That's what I was saying. Like,
Sports
you can go
science
and
or
do
something.
sports science or something,
Yeah.
which will help you in your rugby playing and
That's
how
true.
you work as
Yeah,
a
yeah.
person.
Alright, well, we're nearly gone for an hour already. Did it not feel like an hour? But so we'll get rid of these. I won't do these last 3 questions.
A school dress code's a good idea.
Do you reckon? I reckon
Just
they
looking
are.
at your questions.
I reckon uniform's important. I'm an awful uniform.
You're an awful uniform.
No, I'm all for people wearing uniform. Alright, let's talk about this one then. Because there's
guys.
I've had a discussion with my boss a few times about we should have a work uniform, and he said, no, because we're a creative company, so uniform kind of, like, I don't know, limits like creativity. So if you're in a school and you're wearing all like formal uniform and stuff, they say, I don't know how to explain it, like, it's not very open. You're always like real strict, tucking yourself in. Yeah,
Carry on.
like, I just saw Siri jump up, so
Yeah.
stop.
Well, I think it comes down to, like, why you're wearing the uniform. If you're wearing the uniform because you're proud of what you are representing, and if it's like a business thing, then it's marketing who you are as a business.
Yeah.
I understand that people are, like, in a creative business, but like, if you're really, like, focused on making your organization a better place, then you are creating values in your organization that make the people who join you and the people who interact with you, shareholders and whatever, want to be a part of the brand that you are. And if you're not proud of like who you are, then that's going to portray to other people who
I exactly
are
agree with
part of
that.
you. But then again, that's also, like, if your brand is not uniforms, it's just super chill all the time, then that's alright. But I think it's kind of like you want unity within your organization, and especially between your workers. And when you have a uniform, you're proud of what, like, your brand and your organization and what you're portraying, you know?
Yeah, I agree with that hard out. But before I say my thing, Josh, what do you? No, what do you reckon?
Do you reckon rugby players should have uniforms? Or should they just wear whatever they want?
Just say, do you reckon at school, would you like to see mufti, or would you like to, like, every day, like American schools, a lot of American schools, or would you like uniform to still be in?
I don't know, every time, I like the uniform, because every time there was a mufti day, it just felt like a massive show-off competition. Like, some kid rocks up with Gucci flip-flops, you're like, damn, that kid's got more money than me.
Yeah. So you like uniform?
Yeah, uniform's great.
What
Well,
are you
I-
guys?
So you were talking about school when you asked the question, but then you went
Changed
into
to
work.
business.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I was like,
Well, because
So
I
I think for when you're in school, you should just wear uniform, and if you are a creative styled person, I think that there should be rules that you can express
okay,
through
like
accessories.
a
and
lenient
stuff.
a leniency.
Because I don't understand how nail polish on your fingers is going to affect the way you work. But when you're an adult in the workplace, I don't care. I really couldn't care.
Maybe it's more for
Just so long
girls
as
in
you're
school.
like carrying a passion for what you're doing, that's cool. However you express that in your wardrobe is fine.
Yeah.
If you're
or-
wearing like a suit, that's cool. If you're wearing just fat
Mm.
pants, I probably wouldn't be into it because that's personal preference. But if
It's
you're
still like-
passionate for it, then it's like, oh yeah, that's cool. He's got a vision.
It's still like professionalism as well. Like you wouldn't turn up to like a business meeting with a client wearing like fat pants and like a puffer jacket or
Yeah,
something,
exactly.
because you want to portray something about who you are as a person.
Yeah.
And they're going to be like, oh, this guy doesn't really care
Care
about
about, yeah.
what he looks like or what the creation is that he's making and all that kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah, I reckon. I was thinking for the school, going back to school. What if it might seem like you're just trying to clone everyone if you're making rules the same. Do you think that affects so if everyone's trying to be the same, then they can't really express who they are if they're wearing uniform?
Well, I think that's what Grace was getting
Like, so you reckon there should be just way more lenient? So everyone wears like a standard uniform, but some people are allowed to, I don't know, have their shirts untucked, or some people can have their hair down without being tied up. And like, do you think there should just be? Because I feel like if you do that, then you should just have no uniform at all. I feel like if you have all these rules that you can wear your uniform differently to someone else, I reckon that you might as well just have no uniform and just let people wear what they want to wear.
I think Grace was getting at like accessories and like how you use the rest of
Okay.
your so like, you know, Grace was using like nail polish as an example, like maybe someone goes out of their way to wear like their like a nice hat. My voice stopped working there. Like a nice hat that day or something.
Yeah.
And like they're still wearing the uniform and they're still like kind of I think it also comes down to like, instead of like making uniform a bad thing, try to get kids to understand that like they want to be proud of their school
Yeah.
and like what they're wearing and why they're wearing
No,
it.
yeah. I had to agree with that because I like uniforms just because everything I do, I usually get quite passionate about what I do.
Yeah.
So I like representing what I'm doing. So especially like in my job, I like saying where I work because I'm proud of where I work. So I like wearing uniform to show that
Yeah.
and get like passionate behind it. So yeah, I had to agree with that. But yeah, actually, I just thought.
I think if we had mufti days in schools, then we could have like, I mean, if mufti was like always a thing, then
Yeah.
you could have like uniform days. Where
Yeah,
everyone brings
yeah.
a gold coin and they wear their uniform that day.
Do you reckon that the school would even have a uniform though?
No.
Yeah.
At that point, you just give up on the uniform.
All right, let's do one more question.
Saves a lot of money, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
You would.
Well, then you'd have to wear the same clothes. Like you'd have to find an outfit for 5 days of the week.
Yeah, like normal
Easy.
people
Yeah.
Just like how we do, pretty much.
Yeah.
every day.
And if you want to wear the same clothes, it's cool too.
And usually you're living with your mother.
I mean, how many people washed the uniform? Lots.
Yeah.
I
of
had
times.
2 sets of uniforms. I wore my first set for the first 3 days, and then my other set for the last 2 days.
Exactly. So you wore the same uniform for 3 days.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. So it's
Same
like
undies, same.
concept is pretty similar.
Actually, that's pretty gross thing of it that you use
Yeah.
the same socks.
Yeah.
Like I didn't mind shorts and t-shirt that much, but the same socks was getting same socks.
Especially later on when you started to go through that thing that people call puberty, and then you start to like sweat and stuff, and you become pretty gross. And there were people that you're like, all right, you should probably have a shower
Yeah.
and probably wash your uniform.
Personal
more."
hygiene.
I never,
Yeah.
just learn how to be clean, please.
Yeah.
No, but anyway, that's a whole thing. I didn't understand why people didn't like showers though. Showers were so nice. I was like, why don't you have a shower? And they're like, I don't like it. How can you not like a shower?
I agree. I think it's like a human thing.
That wasn't a question. That was just a thought.
That they don't like being in the shower until they're in the shower, and then they're like, I want to
You
live
don't
here.
want to,
Yeah.
Get out.
That's the only thing I don't like about showers. The whole process of getting dry afterwards.
Is that what you're thinking?
I wish I
Damn
could.
it!
What do you air dry so you don't use it?
No, I just
wait there.
Yeah.
I just wish I
Drip
could have a
dry.
shower and then just instantly
Just
get
open the
changed.
window, like.
I can't be bothered like in the towel. I wish I could just hop out shower and boom, just chuck my.
It's such
a first I saw this. Yeah, that's true. That's pretty gross. Sorry.
I'm gonna bet something that makes me dry as soon as I step out of that shower.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best.
Sort all my problems out.
I watched a video about this thing. I heard someone say at school when I was a kid. If you're completely submerged in water, are you actually wet? And I brought it back up again on Facebook. I was like,
Yes.
I had this conversation with Kerry and Brendan and my dad and stuff the other day. Because technically,
okay, yeah, here we go.
when it comes down to the science of things, no.
Really?
But
Okay.
that's beyond the point of what these people are asking. These people are just being dumb.
Sorry, just eating some chips.
I mean, surface tension, all of that kind of stuff, and like the way that molecules work and the way that atoms work.
Wait,
But
you are getting wet though. How,
I'm not.
if you
I'm
weren't
not.
completely submerged underwater, then. Alright, anyway. That wasn't even on the list. Okay, last question. This is for you, Joel. Does punctuation in text messages and Facebook messages and stuff matter? We'll start with Grace.
Oh, what?
there's a question for Joel. We'll start with Grace.
Because I know you have
It's for last.
you have something to say about it, so we'll go around this way.
Words
Okay.
for last, my line.
Depends on the person.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep, that's all I've got.
Okay, Josh.
Yeah, no, I talk to like the boys how I just spell everything wrong because I don't really care. But if I'm talking to like one of the higher ups, I'll make sure every sentence is like
That's true.
punctuated.
So it depends who you're talking to.
Everything.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
exactly what she said.
Yeah. Well, she said depends on the person, so I thought.
Oh,
I
you're
no.
talking to.
I know what you mean now, but I thought immediately you meant depending on the person that was typing the message.
You want to be like
I mean,
subject
vice
up
versa,
to.
it works.
But
Some
what I got
people
from
don't
Josh was
like-
saying that it's depending on who is sending it to.
Yeah,
Sorry, what were you saying?
They're both valid points.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Like, depends on the person you're talking to, but it depends on who you are as a person.
Oh.
As an individual.
Deep inside,
Um,
do you feel convicted about spelling the
Yeah. And the
I'm
different
trained
kinds of
punctual.
theirs,
wrong? Drinks punctual.
and theirs, your,
Every time I'm in like a log game and I spell your, everyone does that little correction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No,
I do a mental correction, but I've learned not to do that to you. Because
Yeah, I do
don't
it
get it.
when I talk to
Doesn't matter how many times I correct you.
when I message like I don't know, like a business thing and stuff, I like I triple check my like grammar and stuff to make sure it's correct. But if I was messaging you guys, like, I honestly, I'd rather spell things wrong because it's funny how triggered Joel gets when he's like,
So it is who you're talking to.
yeah.
Is there something?
Alright, Joel, your turn.
I think it also depends on whether you actually want to learn the language that you're speaking or not.
We could get into the English language. if
Yeah,
you want.
because this goes beyond like text messages. It's like just knowing what you're saying and how to say it.
Okay.
Because you can totally change your message by punctuation.
Yeah, okay. I know
Let's
what you
eat grandma. That's one of the
Yeah.
classic situations. And I mean, obviously, that's like a comma situation where you're saying let's eat comma grandma
mean. Yeah.
instead of let's eat grandma. But it, like, and they're quite different,
Cool.
relatively.
Yeah.
But
I wonder how grandma tastes. Anyway, carry
I'm
on.
not even continuing on to
That's just nasty.
Oh.
that.
No, I don't even know why that's like a controversial question. I feel like punctuation is very important when you're messaging.
Yeah.
So you can.
I mean,
deliver
I
the
do.
message correctly. Yeah, you'll talk to us properly even in the boys chat.
Yeah,
So
that's just who I am, and it's because I want to portray a slight.
I want to portray myself
Formal.
as smarter than you.
That's not what I was
I'm-
getting
I'm-
at.
I'm
and
here
you
to
When
know
you
correct all
talk
your
to your
mistakes.
business people really good and you
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
the thing, is that because you take pride in your business but not your friendships?
Oh. It's because
You just think our
No,
friendships
it's-
are gonna
Is
break.
that how much I
Because
mean to you, Carl?
I know you guys.
Your?
So I don't care what you guys think about me, but I do care what those guys think about me. So I'm not putting a standard up for you guys. You guys can say whatever you want about me. But those guys, they have to say, this guy is really good at his job. He's amazing.
You think
But
that-
I'm-
Actually, don't get paid by us, so.
It's true.
Yeah,
Actually.
and also,
Yeah. A couple of times.
I mean, I'm not expecting compliments from you guys anyway. I'm expecting quite the opposite. So you guys,
That's
could just-
true.
That
Yeah,
is
yeah.
very true.
if you guys ever said a legit, like you guys say compliments, but I know it's sarcasm every time you do it.
Hey, come on, man.
It's sarcasm.
I say nice stuff about you all the time.
You
Carlos.
do. I'll pull up an example on my messenger actually that happened just today. That Joel.
Wait, did I rip into you?
No. You said it nice.
Oh, did I actually?
I took a picture of my Lord of the Rings book and I said, I hope I actually get through this. Sweet, hopefully I actually persevere, is actually what I said.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then you said, you got this, dude, I believe in you, with the hands
Aw.
together. Yeah, thanks, Joel.
Oh,
Although the amount of
it's like
times,
I'm just
the amount of
naturally
times
a
you've sent
nice
an X to
person.
the chat.
Yeah,
Honestly,
you do send a
you
lot
send
of
X's
Because
X's
I
to
send
the chat.
X's to Grace,
You're
so
roasted.
it's really... A couple of times I've nearly sent one to clients, like real close. It's
Would
free.
love to have you on board, X.
That's good.
If you could just consider my proposal.
Wait, it's like this guy just kissed me on
Love
his way out.
that.
What were those jokes that we talked about when we went to Jono's house the other day that just have like no meaning at the end? You know, you said one as you walked in, but I forgot what it was.
Because the pilot was a potato.
Yeah. I actually said it wrong. You guys had to correct me. I said because the what did I say? I can't
I
remember.
think you just
He
blew
was a
out the mic.
Yeah, because he was a potato.
Because there was a potato.
I was like, why did the plane crash? Because he was a potato. I forgot to say that because he was a
Which
pilot.
makes the joke so much better.
Because it was a potato. Because the plane was a potato.
What the?
Lol.
Just because he was a potato.
Because I got to finish up in a joke, but I didn't prepare one earlier.
Here's one.
You mean like the what's green and has wheels?
Oh yeah, the wheel, but not the green or something, whatever it is.
Yeah, that's it. Whatever is it.
Say it. What is it?
What's green is wheels?
What's green and has wheels? Grass. I lied about the wheels.
Yeah, that's not. What are those called?
I like those.
Me too. What are they called?
Are
They're
they
like
anti-jokes?
anti-jokes.
Yeah.
Anti-jokes.
Well,
Anti-jokes.
versus anti.
Anti.
Anyway,
Oh,
we,
which one is it? Who
Ugh.
cares?
We're gonna make predictions
This is
for
great.
tonight's LOL game.
That made me so angry.
Guys, predictions for tonight's LOL game. Grace, you're in this too. But okay, first game is Misfits versus Flash Wolves.
Okay, can I just quickly ask you about a question about what you just wrote?
Yeah.
You wrote, okay, new line. You wrote LOL, all lowercase, space, game with a capital G.
Ugh.
I didn't do
It's
that.
alright. No, it's totally fine. I just want to ask why.
Hey, I'm really pissed off about this. Can you please correct it? But no, you don't have to.
It's actually because I was in a
Not at all.
rush
Go for it.
to do it.
But why a capital G?
Because I always click Shift G on LOL to bring up my thumbs up.
Wow.
Ah,
Okay.
that's interesting.
And I do the thumbs up heaps when I BM kill someone.
Okay.
Nerdy talk now. Alright, Josh. Flash Wolves, Misfits?
Okay, what?
Misfits.
Oh.
Yeah,
Misfits.
me too.
Joel?
Are we doing this for all of the games?
Yeah, every single one. See you get them
Um,
right.
Flash Wolves are going to beat Misfits.
And Grace reckoned Misfits, eh?
Yeah, sure.
I reckon Flash
Just
Wolves too.
creating some tension. Oh,
Um,
we're split on that 50-50.
What's the next one? WETSM, Josh?
TSD.
Grace?
Oh, you were just going to say.
TSM.
Oh, I spelled that wrong. Does it trigger you? Like, they're not all capital. Anyway, Joel, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I'll go with TSM.
Now I did one that was with it.
My man. Are you going to say WE?
No, I'll say TSM.
Okay, good.
Because I want them.
Mhm.
Flash Wolves, WE. Wait, this is going to take for ages. We'll do this after.
Flash Wolves. What's that, man?
Why do you have to type them out?
Because
Can't we just say
no,
them?
so you remember.
Okay.
You know.
I mean, I remember who I said.
Oh yeah, let's say them. Alright, Flash Wolves, WE, Josh.
I was say Flash Wolves.
Flash Wolves, Grace. We could just listen to the podcast.
That's what I said. So,
Just throw my V around.
That rhymes with WE, so.
Yeah, probably say WE.
I'm going
TBH.
WE as well. TSM Misfits.
TSM.
TSM.
TSM everyone. TSM Flash Wolves.
TSM.
TSM.
Let's go TSM.
Misfits WE. WE.
Misfits.
Misfits.
W. No, don't say that one.
Okay.
Don't you dare say that one.
What's this one? Is that the joke?
Yeah.
What?
What is
not.
it?
What's
you know
it?
how
Say it.
normally it says.
An Irishman walks out of a bar.
That's
That's the joke.
No,
That's
that
like
one's rough. That one's rough.
I like this one.
Oh my goodness.
Why did the boy drop his ice cream? Stop the recording.
No.
Alright, because he was hit by a bus.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, now this one,
It's like the.
people can hear this one next time, alright? So stop it as soon
I
as
love that
finish.
one. That one's my favourite one. Can we just say that one before?
Okay, a dyslexic man walks into a bra.
I love that. Yes.
That's so sad because.
It's so good. It's my favourite.
Anyway,
Okay.
'Cause
how do you
Look,
confuse?
there's mine.
Oh, what has what?
What's green and has wheels?
Sit
The
around.
grass. I lied about the wheels.
I love him.
How do you confuse a blonde?